Donnie Wahlberg here. Can't wait for you to see my new series, Boston Blue, coming CBS fall.
For tomorrow, across the Upper Peninsula, we'll have a little bit of everything, some sunshine, some cloudy skies, and some showers, but everyone is chilly. I'll have your full details coming up.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Hodge. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, we'll have the latest as Israel and Iran continue to fire missiles into each other's countries. Plus, we have more details on what's included in Michigan Republicans' K-12 schools funding plans. It includes possible cuts to programs such as free lunch. And we hear more about the collaboration between the Michigan National Guard and the DNR as they work to improve state parks in the Upper Peninsula. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
All right, a first look as we head into the weekend. You made it. It's Friday, and it will be a little chilly into the overnight with mostly cloudy skies and temperatures into the mid to upper 40s. And we unfortunately are not going to be warming up all that much for tomorrow, especially for Marquette. We'll keep the cloudy skies, and we'll have some calm winds, and we'll have temperatures rounding off in the mid to upper 50s. There are some warmer temperatures on the way as we head through the final few days of spring. I'll have all your details coming up.
Kelly, thank you very much. The conflict between Israel and Iran intensified today. Iran struck back at Israel after the Jewish state launched overnight airstrikes on Iran. Iran's UN ambassador said 78 people were killed and more than 300 injured in the attacks by Israel. Erica Brown has the latest from the White House.
Warning sirens sounded in Israel as Iran launched another round of retaliatory strikes early Saturday. Just outside Tel Aviv, a rescue operation was underway after an Iranian missile struck an apartment building. The Israel Defense Forces said their Iron Dome system intercepted most of the missiles Iran aimed at Israel, and the U.S. provided additional help, according to White House officials. But a number of injuries were reported in Tel Aviv, where multiple sites were hit during Iran's counterattack. About 1,000 miles away in Tehran, large crowds gathered, with Iranians chanting "Death to Israel" and "Death to America." Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, vowed severe revenge, while Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made a direct appeal to the Iranian people.
We're also clearing the path for you to achieve your objective, which is freedom. In the past 24 hours, we've taken out top military commanders, senior nuclear scientists, the Islamic regime's most significant enrichment facility, and a large portion of its ballistic missile arsenal. More is on the way. The regime doesn't know what hit them. They don't know what will hit them.
Israeli media reported commandos from Israel's intelligence service Mossad built a drone base inside the country and used it to strike missile launchers at a military base near Tehran. And this video, released by Mossad, shows Israeli soldiers on Iranian soil. Israel also identified the homes of some Iranian military leaders, where airstrikes killed them in their beds.
President Trump said he knew Israel's operation against Iran was in the works. Today he spoke to Netanyahu by phone and held a meeting in the Situation Room with the National Security Council. Tomorrow, a parade will be held to honor the U.S. Army's 250th birthday. It's expected to coincide with protests across the country by those opposing the Trump administration. David Martin tells us what we might expect.
Metal doesn't get much heavier than this. The Army's main battle tank rolling off a rail car after a 2,000-mile trip from Texas for Saturday's parade. How much does one of these guys weigh?
This is almost 80 tons.
Colonel Camille Stalkoper says there are 28 tanks, 150 armored vehicles in all. How are you going to keep these things from tearing up the streets?
We put on brand new track pads on every tracked vehicle.
The Army had originally planned for something more like this. But once President Trump took office, the festival grew into a parade complete with tanks.
Enjoy the tanks, but understand they're not the center of the United States Army.
West Point graduate and combat veteran Jason Dempsey doesn't like the look of the Army parading its firepower past the president on a day that coincides with his birthday.
The founders did not want a militarized nation, and they didn't want a president with kingly powers.
President Trump doesn't like the look of anybody protesting the parade.
And if there's any protester who wants to come out, they will be met with very big force.
18.5 miles of fencing is going up for an expected crowd of 200,000, including Lieutenant Casey Thompson's parents.
It's an honor to be here. I volunteered to come, and I asked my gunner if he would want to join for an historic event.
Watchers at home will almost certainly see a split screen. The parade honoring the Army that fought the insurrection against British rule, and troops in Los Angeles faced off against protesters the president has called insurrectionists.
A new budget proposal from House Republicans would boost overall K-12 spending, but also make major cuts to programs for student meals, mental health, and school safety. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy breaks down what's in the plan and how educators across the state are reacting.
The Michigan House Republican K-12 budget proposal totals nearly $22 billion, a 5.5% increase over last year. But it comes with major policy shifts.
We've had a lot of dictates from Lansing, right? What to do, how to do it, when to do it. And this allows money to go back to the school districts where the locals can decide.
The plan eliminates more than $1 billion in categorical funding, including money for free school meals, school safety grants, literacy programs, and teacher recruitment. Instead, lawmakers want to move those dollars into a single per-pupil payment, giving districts more flexibility, but fewer guarantees.
In my area, maybe it costs more for teachers, for example, and salaries, but up in Escanaba, it costs more for transportation. Another district, they need more money for, heating and cooling.
Democrats, school leaders, and advocates say the budget doesn't do enough to meet student needs.
Categoricals are a form of accountability. They are a form of accountability. If I give you X dollars for Y outcome, I expect that to happen.
The plan also includes new penalties. Districts could lose over 20% of their funding if they teach curriculum on race or gender stereotypes, fund diversity initiatives, or allow transgender students to compete in sports teams for their preferred gender. Their plan also includes conditional funding if schools reinstate resource officers and mental health supports.
This is about putting something forth that makes sense for the kids in Michigan to be educated and for our local districts to empower them to make better decisions.
As negotiations continue in Lansing, stakeholders on both sides say the final budget could look very different. And they have just 2 weeks to come to an agreement before the new school budget year begins. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
As summer rolls in, so is the busy camping season in Michigan's many state parks. Managed by the DNR, these spaces take a lot of maintenance each year, but with the help of the Michigan Army National Guard, it's all hands on deck. WZMQ's Andrew Hands has more.
From May 31st through June 15th, soldiers from the 1432nd Engineer Company out of Kingsford and Gladstone have participated in the Innovative Readiness Training Program. The Michigan Army National Guard's 107th Engineer Battalion has been tasked by the Michigan DNR with various trades projects at state parks and campgrounds throughout Marquette and Baraga counties.
Not just running out in the woods and doing some tactical stuff, but we also have all of the different trades of carpentry, electrical, plumbing.
It's a win-win for both organizations. We get more work done and it fulfills their training needs, but we can keep the Guard members closer to home versus going to Grayling.
Over the 2 weeks, the battalion split up into squads to cover each site. This includes various road and cabin reconstruction projects at Craig Lake State Park and upgrades to the concession venue and bathroom facilities at Van Riper State Park.
We have a company, it's about 100 people that are working on like 13 different project sites for the DNR. They've been working in their squads on the several different project sites.
With state parks like Craig Lake growing in popularity over the years, these renovation projects have come as a huge help to the DNR.
The use up there has skyrocketed, especially since the pandemic. Craig Lake has been found. Some much needed improvements, and essentially without the National Guard's help, we would have been hard-pressed to get it done on our own.
Most areas under construction will reopen by the weekend of June 13th. In Champion, Andrew Hands, WZMQ 19 News.
Kelly Rowland has your first warning weather forecast when we come back. Plus, 2 new businesses arrive in Manistee. We'll introduce you to Marley's Irish Pub, and then we'll head to Lily James Studio, where they're offering a number of services, including manicures, facials, and waxing. We'll be right back after this.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to get their car fixed. John's Auto is quickly becoming everybody's favorite place to fix their car. Was that right? For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market. Why do I keep forgetting that word? Experience. Okay, go. 3, 2. For a better service experience, come to John's Auto Market.
And don't forget,
Are you looking for a trustworthy publishing company to publish your book?
Covenant Books is an author-friendly publisher who shares your passion and beliefs. Call us today and we'll send you a free author packet to help get you started. We provide a full range of publishing services.
Covenant sells your book and ebook online and in bookstores everywhere. Our authors love us. Just look.
Be like these authors and get your book published today.
To get your free writer's guide, call now. 1-800-215-6164.
Is giving zaddy vibes.
I'm not mad at that.
Can I make Blair Underwood blush?
You want me to keep going? Are we embarrassing you?
Plus Halloween makeup, tips, and tricks. Then we give 2 sisters the red carpet treatment.
Give them a little over the shoulder.
On the Jennifer Hudson Show.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, Monday at 5 on WZMQ TV CBS, followed by 19 News at 6.
What's bothering Archie?
Politics. What the Supreme Court says ain't got nothing to do with the law.
How to raise children.
Get out of here.
Door tap.
Goldfish. Come on now, I draw the line on goldfish.
See what's bothering Archie on All in the Family.
Sundays from 8 to 10 on WZMQ Me TV. Escanaba reporter Lily Simmons on WZMQ 19 News. Now, WZMQ TV 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
Welcome back. We still had another chilly day today, a high temperature of 52 for Marquette when that average high is 71. No rain for us into Marquette, and we were fairly average on that low temperature, but yeah, this is way below average, and as we head through the final few days of spring, we'll continue to do that before we can see some warmer temperatures. But I do want to take you to Oregon really fast, kind of a new development in an active wildfire as of June 11th, currently burning just shy of 4,000 acres into Rowena, Oregon, and these people, you can see in this video, the reduced visibility from the sheriff office here, and people have been evacuated. There's different levels to these evacuations. It's either evacuate right now or be on standby, depending on how close you are to these types of wildfires and if the winds are blowing in your direction. So as we progress to warmer temperatures, I promise they're coming. I can't promise that they'll be tomorrow, but we have to remember, especially when we get low humidity and some gusty winds, that the fire weather risk is at risk for anyone. We're not seeing any air quality warnings, though, from the Canadian or the Oregon wildfire smoke coming into the area, so that's good as we head through the weekend. But we're still monitoring the future smoke. We have seen some decent clearing in this, not even seeing a lot of the blue here, so we have been seeing an improvement in the air quality, and we are seeing that right now still into that 30 or 40 range for that air quality index. Now, as we head through the weekend, we're going to be tracking a few showers, especially that will clip Iron River, Iron Mountain down towards Escanaba. Everyone will get the cloudy skies. Just kind of depends how far south you are. You might get some of those very light rain showers. We'll start to get some clearing in that rain for Father's Day. I do think it will still be fairly cloudy, but most of this rain does happen at the first half of the weekend. So the rain outlook through Sunday morning, this is you wake up on Father's Day. Again, it just depends where you are. It looks like we're going to be picking up a trace of rain, maybe a few tenths of an inch when the weekend is all said and done with. So with that being said, I think the weekend outlook, if this were a report card, would be a passing grade, maybe leaving out tonight with those rain showers and chilly temperatures into the lower 40s. A little bit of some overcast skies to start off your Saturday, and it will be warmer and cloudy in the mid 60s for those high temperatures on your Father's Day. So we know how the weekend looks, and we get to the the last few days of spring here. The summer solstice is on June 20th, that upcoming Friday. So we'll have a few scattered showers, a few isolated storms, but some fairly seasonal, maybe a little bit chillier temperatures to start off this next week. A little bit of some patchy morning fog midweek that we'll have to watch out for. Juneteenth looking nice with partly cloudy skies into the mid-60s, and that will carry into the first official day of summer, the summer solstice.
Kelly, thanks again. It was an exciting day for Manistee with the grand openings of 2 new businesses. Schoolcraft Tourism and Commerce held a ribbon cutting at Marley's Irish Pub on Walnut Street. The pub offers Irish dishes like Reuben's and shepherd's pie and a full menu of drinks. After learning about the pub in a book of haunted Michigan bars, the owner jokingly asked if it was for sale and fell in love with the building. She's excited to welcome customers inside and become part of the downtown community.
We're creating a home away from home atmosphere is what we really want to do. I want people to feel welcome as soon as they walk in, because that's what an Irish pub is to me. People can expect to have great drinks, have a good time, listen to live music, have good food, have good talks.
Marley's Irish Pub is open Sunday through Tuesday and Thursday through Saturday. Just around the corner on South Cedar Street, a new salon also opened its doors. Lily James Studio offers a range of services, including manicures and pedicures, facials, hairstyling and coloring, extensions, eyelash and brow tinting, waxing, and Japanese head spas. Having named the studio after her daughter and son, the owner says clients can expect to be treated like family. The small team aims to provide high-quality services that won't break the bank.
We wanted something to offer to our community that was economically friendly and more high-end.
A luxury experience for sure. When they walk in, they should feel like they're the center of attention.
Lily James Studio is open Monday through Friday. You can find hours of operation for both businesses at WZMQ19.com. Seeing a charge you do not recognize on your account can be really scary, but dealing with that fraud can be different depending on the type of card you use. Josh Sidorowitz explains.
Even when they're not here, they're here.
With 6 grandkids and 2 great-grandkids.
And all of them, they're my heart.
Barbara Ross cherishes the family photos she's got all over her home.
My granddaughter.
But she is not a photographer.
Where the heck are they?
So,
oh, here they are.
When nearly $500 in charges appeared on her debit card for cameras she didn't buy, she disputed it with TD Bank, but they turned her down. A senior living on a fixed income, it's money she says she couldn't afford not to have.
I was not going to let it go.
Sarah Rathner at NerdWallet says Barbara's case highlights the biggest difference between debit and credit cards when it comes to unauthorized charges.
With debit cards, when a fraudulent withdrawal is made, that is actual money withdrawn from your checking account. And that means that you're not going to have that money available to pay other bills until the bank finishes investigating your case. With a credit card, the money is charged to your account, but until you pay your bill, you're not out any actual money.
And unlike most credit cards, which carry zero liability for fraud, you could owe up to $50 for debit card fraud. But that's only if you report it right away. But if 48 hours pass before you notice the charge, under federal law, your liability jumps to $500. And after 60 days, you could be on the hook for the full amount. You didn't purchase these.
I swear on the Bible, I have no cameras since I got my phone, and I have all my photos in my phone. I have no cameras.
So I reached out to TD Bank on Barbara's behalf, and within 24 hours, she was credited the full $469 back to her account. A TD Bank spokesperson told me, "We can report we have been able to achieve a positive resolution in this matter."
Can't believe it. They put the money back. They did the right thing after you got in touch with them. It took you to do it.
If you do use a debit card, NerdWallet says it might be a good idea to keep a low balance. That way you can at least limit the damage of a fraudulent withdrawal if it does happen.
A robotics researcher has developed a high-tech pair of socks to potentially help soften the path for millions of people living with dementia. The smart socks have sensors that monitor stress, tracking things like sweat, heart rate, skin temperature, and movement. That data is then sent via Wi-Fi to caregivers who can keep track of a patient's well-being on an app.
It's been developed to understand how a person with dementia is feeling, in particular if they're in a state of emotional distress. This is important because many people with dementia struggle with communication, As a result, they experience unmet needs. So this is
The inventor says his great-grandmother's struggle with dementia inspired him to create the smart socks, which are now being tested on patients in the UK. Mike Ludlam has your sports headlines when we come back. Plenty of baseball highlights with Norway and the Tigers playing today. We're back in 2 minutes.
Spas, Spas, Spas! The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend inside the Ruth Butler Building at the UP State Fairgrounds. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only at the UP State Fairgrounds.
There's a reason why Toyota is America's best-selling retail brand. It's the quality, dependability, and reliability that you expect from Toyota. And that starts right here in the USA, where Toyota has invested over $49 billion into 11 different manufacturing plants, including the newest one, a battery plant for its electrified vehicles. There are now 13 different Toyotas built in the USA, with more on the way. America drives Toyota. Let's go places.
It's Shunk's big Father's Day recliner sale. You know, we have the largest selection of recliners in Michigan and Wisconsin. There's literally hundreds of recliners to choose from, and at the lowest price, and they start at just $279. There's big recliners for the big men, up to 500 pounds. And there's little recliners for the ladies and everything in between. There's power and power lift recliners in all different sizes, and leather recliners big and small and everything in between. Shop Shunk Furniture of Marquette today.
The Shortlist, a countdown show that's all sports. See the greatest names and the greatest games in all sports. Top 10 miracle finishes, top 10 comebacks, the 10 greatest women in sports. Want to see who's number one? Watch all the way to the end of the show. Sports fans love it, and you will too. That's The Shortlist, counting down the top 10 of everything in sports. Only from SSN, the Cindy Sports Network.
Spas, Spas, Spas! The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend inside the Ruth Butler Building at the UP State Fairgrounds. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only at the UP State Fairgrounds.
Good evening, everyone. Many times in baseball, if you don't score when you get a chance, especially early in the game, it could make for a long day. That was the case for the Norway Knights this afternoon in their Division IV semifinal against top-ranked Portland St. Patrick at Michigan State. The Shamrocks are back in the state semifinals for the first time since 2017. Norway back for the second straight year. St. Pat's up a run in the third. Logan Howe grounds the third. Jared Shire breaks for the plate and slides safely when Bryce Adams' throw was off the mark. Braden Simon lays down a bunt. Brady Leonard scores easily. Norway tries to make the play, but Cole By's toss was off the line. It's all of a sudden 4-0. St. Patrick. And if it isn't broke, no sense fixing it. Two innings later, Simon lays down another bunt. Norway takes the out at first this time. Leonard scores. Then in the sixth, Brady Leonard rips one to the left side, and Shire will score from second base to make it 7-0 Shamrocks. Leonard was 3 for 4 at the plate. He also pitched a complete game shutout as he fields the chopper, and fires for the final out. St. Patrick tops Norway 7-0, letting small ball lead the way to the state championship game, and Norway coach Tony Adams shouldered the blame.
Just don't see it enough during the year, and I didn't do a good enough job in practice of putting them into those pressure situations. As a base runner, right, you don't want to get doubled up. So we had a late read, and we didn't come through. That would have been huge, get up a run, get the energy going, and then we had the mistake. So hard to win a ball game with 5 errors, and but the kids battled the whole way through, and it's 2 years in a row it took the #1 team in the state to beat us, so something to be proud of.
There's kids that want to throw the ball in the gap, and there's kids that want to do hero-type things and me-type things, and they're such a team. We have some guys that kind of lead us in statistics, but team-wise, we are all bought into the same gritty mentality, and it's been a blast.
Norway ends its solid season at 28-5-1. The Shamrocks are 33-1 and will meet Plymouth Christian Academy tomorrow in the final at 5 o'clock. PCA cruise by Petersburg Summerfield 9-1. Michigan Tech Athletics will take part in the annual Touch a Truck event tomorrow during Bridge Fest. You can stop by the Houghton City Pier to see the Zamboni up close and meet and play hockey, basketball, soccer, spikeball, football, and more with varsity Husky student athletes and coaches. Also, you can register for a chance to win a free Michigan Tech hockey platform rental for 14 people for one game next season. No purchases necessary. That's tomorrow for Touch a Truck with Michigan Tech Athletics down at the new pier in Houghton from 9:30 in the morning until 1:30 in the afternoon. Major League Baseball, the Tigers back in action at home this evening. They're taking on the Cincinnati Reds. A little bit of a rain delay to get this one going. Bottom of the first inning, the first pitch to Gleyber Torres. Oh boy, did he get a hold of that one. That's off Nick Martinez, and the Tigers take a 1-0 lead. Jump to the bottom of the third, score is tied at 1, and Riley Green says, oh sure, I'll tee off the left center field. This will be good for number 14, another solo shot, and the Tigers are up 2-1. Fourth inning, Javier Baez says, hey, I'd like to get in on this action. Ooh, that was a nasty case of pitcher's whiplash there. His 7th of the year, and the Tigers have a 3-1 advantage. Move to the top of the 5th. And it's time for Cincinnati to get back into this one. Ellie De La Cruz would take care of this one off Kiter Montero, his 14th, and the Tigers' lead is down to 1 at 3-2. Move to the 6th inning, bases loaded, Riley Green. Not a home run this time, but the diving attempt will make sure this is an extra base hit, as Kamai Jones, Zach McKinstry, and Jake Rogers all score on the play, and the Tigers have a 7-2 advantage. To the bottom of the 7th, and Gleyber Torres is back in the plate and back out of the box, this time the other direction, his second home run of the game. So the Tigers are up by the count of 8-2. And in the bottom of the 8th, Javier Baez back in batter's box, and that one's going up the middle. Spencer Torkelson scores, Tigers up 9-2. And Jake Rogers added a 2 RBI single to left field, and the Tigers had an 11-2 lead. The bullpen kind of faltered a bit in the 9th inning. Cincinnati scored 3 times, but no big deal. Detroit went on to win this one 11-5. Milwaukee defeated St. Louis 3-2. To golf, round 2 of the U.S. Open Golf Tournament from Oakmont, Pennsylvania. Par 3 6th hole. This is Victor Perez with a nice looking tee shot that not only is looking nice, but bounce, 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 swish, a hole in one. He moved to 1 over par for the tournament at that point. We jump to the par 4 17th. Victor Hovland's turn with a chip attempt on the hole, and ding, hits the stick and goes in for an eagle. He was 3 under par at that point. Scotty Scheffler, the world's #1 golfer, sinks the birdie putt here on the 7th hole, trying to stay in it. He finished a little bit off the lead. Sam Burge is doing quite well. Long putt here that's going to end up for an eagle. Now, not everybody was able to get done, so they'll finish up early tomorrow morning and then make the cut and get everybody going once again. So really can't tell you who's in the lead because, well, not everybody's done yet. Oklahoma City and Indiana down the stretch. Oklahoma City was leading by 4 when I started this sportscast. We'll let you know what happened when we come back.
At Big Valley Ford in Ewan, we're more than just a dealership. We're your hometown partner in finding the perfect ride. With a huge selection of high-quality vehicles, there's something here for every lifestyle and every budget. Looking for value? We've got one of the largest selections of pre-owned Ford trucks in the UP, all in excellent condition and low miles, along with a huge selection of new Broncos and trucks all ready to roll. Experience the Big Valley difference at Big Valley Ford in Ewan.
The greatest sportsmen and women. Icons of our time and beyond. Peerless performances. Champions in a class of their own. Legacies without equal. Timeless quality, superbly crafted stories showcasing the greatest sports heroes and their incredible winning moments. The Immortals, the greatest athletes of all time.
Jerry O'Connell here. You know what? Let's play some Pictionary. Can you guess what this is? That's right. Weekdays,
9 a.m. only on CBS WZMQ. I'm not supposed to write letters, but don't miss it.
Pictionary, weekdays at 9 a.m. on WZMQ CBS. Sophia Murphy reports at 6 and 11 on WZMQ 19 News. Tonight's sports is brought to you by the Window Store.
Why should you consider re-siding your home? Your home is the largest investment you'll make. Protect it with new siding installed by the experts at the Window Store. We offer a range of affordable, high-quality siding options, including premium ABC seamless steel siding with attractive financing options available. And we install all winter long across the entire UP. Schedule your appointment today and enjoy the Window Store experience for yourself. Your clear choice is the Window Store.
Look at your forecast here as we head through Friday night and into Saturday. We'll have some chilly temperatures tomorrow still, with some of us seeing mostly cloudy skies. Iron River, you'll get some sunshine, probably still seeing a few of those light rain showers. Newberry likely staying dry in the upper 60s with some sunshine. So really conflicting sky conditions, whether it's cloudy, a little sunshine, a little rain. But everyone should be seeing some fairly seasonal to some warmer than average temperatures in our 6 to 10 day outlook. I promise you they're coming, and this is the overall consensus. There are some anomalies with fronts and wind directions, but overall I think we should be trending in the warmer side, and we'll see a little bit of that here on our 7-day too. Your Flag Day tomorrow, scattered showers and cloudy skies and chilly temperatures. We'll get a little bit warmer for your Father's Day, staying mostly dry, still a little bit cloudy. A few scattered showers and storms to start off the week ahead, finally back into the 70s, and the first day of summer is that following Friday.
Kelly, thanks again. And finally today, the city of Negaunee celebrated Arbor Day by planting a tree in honor of an outstanding community member. Residents, family, and friends gathered to remember Amos Mackey. There we go. Mike, I better leave that one to you. Better known as Goofus, actually. I can say that one just fine. Those close to him say he's remembered for his kindness, generosity, and glowing personality.
This time, for example, he would have a box like this, full of stuff for 50 different individuals. Every week he would take his coupons and go buy canned food, so then when they turned it in December, they would come to his house with a truck.
Also remembered for his love of instruments, one of his favorites, the wazoo, was played at the celebration. Another favorite was the one-man band, otherwise known as the
Pocatello.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Oklahoma City 111, 104 over Indiana, tied at 2.
Spas. The Swim Spa Hot Tub and Sauna Show is coming this weekend inside the Ruth Butler Building at the UP State Fairgrounds. Rows and rows of spas, hot tubs, cold tubs, and swim spas. The largest display in the state. Save up to 60% on all in-stock models. This weekend only at the UP State Fairgrounds.